Get the banner up. Well, good evening. Welcome to our Winning in Wealth Wednesday. This week, we have another speaker, our last speaker for the event. If you have not been following us, we have been speaking about the I Am Wealth Symposium, and I have with me the amazing, the incredible Janet Tompkins. And I'm going to read her bio in just a second, but she actually was with me in my very first symposium. In both symposiums, she's definitely been gracious in her giving and sponsoring and everything. So we definitely are so excited to have her again this year to be one of our speakers and really the keynote for this year, right? So she is the keynote speaker. So definitely, if you have been on the fence, you want to jump off the fence and you want to come out and you want to listen to this woman, because she has been the African-American female that has been a role model to me in the space of real estate investing. And many of you who know my story, you know, when I left corporate, I started out in real estate investing. I wish I had met her when I first started, but I still was able to glean from her and learn so much from her. And she's expanded an empire of real estate portfolio from, Patterson, New Jersey to Atlanta, Georgia. But I'm not going to tell her story. I'm going to read her bio and just let you hear all the amazing things that this woman, her husband, and her team has been able to accomplish. So Janet Tompkins is the cash flow diva. So super proud of you, Janet, about that. The cash flow diva was affectionately known in Baltimore, Maryland as the Baltimore real estate diva because she buys houses like other women buy shoes. And that is the real deal. All right. And so as a Christian striving to treat everyone the way she wants to be treated, she built a name and reputation as the go-to person in Baltimore for rental properties because of product excellence and going the extra mile. Her mantra and mission statement is, I won't give anyone anything I can't live in myself. Janet has bought an average of 2 to 4 houses per month and has over 100 properties in her residential portfolio. Bible study teacher, mother of 3, grandmother of 2, and 35-year retiree of Verizon Communications, Janet has successfully bought, sold, rehabbed, and managed over $170 million in single-family houses and multi-unit apartment buildings in the Patterson, New Jersey, Baltimore, Maryland, Atlanta, Georgia, and Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, she teaches classes on how to build a rental portfolio empire, a rental property empire. She's also a coach, hard money and private money lender, a philanthropist, as well as a consultant and mentor to young men and women in the real estate industry. In keeping with her church's mission statement to rescue the children, redeem the family, and recreate the community, she has not only changed the trajectory of her immediate family's lives, but the lives of men, women, boys, and girls, tenants, her community, and has created other entrepreneurs as well. Her motto is, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. She truly believes that she has been blessed to be a blessing to others, and to whom much is given, much is required. And that's certainly a scripture that I definitely have gleaned from as well. So thank you so much, Janet, for being here and being a part of this journey with me again this year for our very first I Am Wealth Symposium 2023. And when I thought about this, I thought about, the how would I call it, the OGs of wealth, if you will, right? And so I can't get the other OGs, but I got you, and I'm excited that you came on board with me to be able to talk to us and tell this generation and the next generation how it is that we can build wealth the right way, because too many people are building it on a wrong foundation and don't really understand what it takes. So we're excited that you're here with us again. Very humble. I've been able to, meet with you on several occasions in Baltimore, and you just really poured out. And at the Real Estate Investing Association, you have been able to give a lot of information to a lot of women. And the what is it called? The sisterhood? I forgot right now.
The Savvy Women's Investment Network.
Savvy Women's SWIM. That's what it's called. SWIM. Yeah. Savvy Women Investment. And so I'm excited that you're here to talk to more women, right? So wealth, as we well know, stands for wise entrepreneurs and leaders transforming history. And you have certainly transformed history in your community and beyond, nationwide, right? And so we know that you bootstrapped it. You got it out the mud. You weren't given a silver spoon. And that's why we want to hear your story. And you definitely have one to tell. But I want to ask you a few questions, of course, Just a few. So how did you get started? Let's talk about that. How did you get started?
First of all, before I even answer that question, I'd just like to thank you for your persistence, for your determination, for your dedication, and getting the word out to women all over this nation, because that is my heart. That is where I'm at now. For so many of us, we say that we don't have money, but in actuality, we actually do. If we can spend the money on sneakers and purses and clothing and all those other things, we can have the money. We can put the money towards wealth, towards our families, towards our community. We can actually change that, and it only takes one. And it doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. What I want you to understand, remember, realize, and never forget, you're never too old. There's always a way, and it's always too soon to quit. So, in answer to your question, how did I get started? We got started, as so many other real estate investors have, quite by accident. In Paterson, New Jersey, where I'm from, that's a small little town from out of New York, 15 minutes from New York City. We were actually looking for a single family property. And in actuality, my husband never even wanted a house. But what I've always been an avid reader. And so I'd always want to know, well, how do people get wealthy? I'm avid reader of Forbes magazine, Money magazine, Entrepreneur, even back in the day before it was fashionable to read those magazines. And that is one of the things you're going to hear me talk about, your vitamins. And that is vitamin R. That is read, read, read. And then vitamin I want you to invest in yourself. Get that vitamin E, that education. But we were looking, so we read that in order to become wealthy, if you look at 90% of the wealth, not only in this country, but throughout the world, it's because of the assets that you own. That is the real estate. Even your McDonald's, your Burger Kings, yeah, they may sell, and those are called intangibles, the actual food that they sell. But it's the actual buildings, the warehouses that actually make the money. That's where you're going to get your net worth from. So we were looking, so we read that and we said, okay, then it's time for us to buy a house. We had read that you had to save 20% down. So that's what we did. We started putting money in a water bottle jar. We start saving. And so we saved 20%. So in 1987, I want you to listen to this now. 1987, we were actually going to buy a single family property. It was off market and it was through a real estate attorney. We went to look at the property, absolutely loved it. So what he said to us is, okay, so if you really like it, we don't have to do the paperwork today. I'll give you a call next week and then we can set up. But he says, my wife's nephew really wants the property, but we don't think he can qualify for the mortgage. So you're good. So next week comes, we don't hear anything from him. 2 weeks go by and I give him a call. He doesn't return my phone call at all. So what he does, we both had a mutual friend. So he calls the mutual friend to say, well, we did wind up selling the property to the wife's nephew. However, I do have a 3-unit property on Broadway. Why don't you ask her if she wants to take a look at that? And that property is going for $90,000. This is 1987. So I said, well, I don't want a 3-unit, but I'll look. I said, oh, and let's go and look at it. So we looked at it and it was huge. It was 7 rooms on the first floor with 3 bedrooms, 7 rooms on the second floor, which is what I wind up taking with 3 bedrooms, 4 rooms with 2 bedrooms on the third floor, and then 5 rooms with a kitchen and a bar in the basement, as well as an office. So Paterson is an urban town. So what we were able to do is, remember we saved 20%. We only had to put 4% down, and our closing costs were paid because we were first-time home buyers. And today that would be called house hacking. And when you're going to hear me say that is one opportunity that you can use to buy your first property. First-time home buyers, In many areas, there's quite a bit of money out of there. And so when you hear my discussion on Saturday, I'm going to talk about some of those items. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you about a group that's actually targeting certain neighborhoods of blacks. And this is a black-owned nationwide mortgage company, and they're looking for folks that they can help buy, especially African Americans, to buy homes. So, how much did I say I paid for this home in 1987? $90,000. Okay,
Wow.
of course, I had three units. I had two that were actually paying my mortgage. So in actuality, we really didn't have to pay the mortgage because the tenants were paying the mortgage.
Right.
And so we're worried today about the interest rates. I'm going to tell you, don't worry about the interest rates right now, because one good thing is we are the only nation in the world where you can get a 30-year mortgage. Okay. And it's becoming much, much, much easier to do that now. So our mortgage interest rate at that time was 9%. But guess what? Refinanced that one property 5 times, took cash out every single time, wind up selling that property, which I wish I had not done, but selling it in 2005 for $415,000. We gave the seller $15,000 plus $3,000 towards the new furnace, and we still made over a $250,000 profit. So where else can you do that? You don't need a college education. You don't need a master's degree or anything like that. You do need to do your due diligence and your homework, but this is one of the easiest games to get in for cash flow and passive income. And if I can do it, you certainly can. I'm going to tell you about how you can do that as well on Saturday.
But listen, thank you so much for addressing the elephant in the room, which most people are wondering, should we be investing in this market today? So I'm going to ask you one more question, and it's going to be really about that, because we want to save all that juice for Saturday, because we know you have so much to share. But definitely want to hear about that mortgage company that you're talking about. So tell us, today, for the person that's on the fence about doing any type of real estate investing, tell us more about why they should consider real estate investing in today's market.
In today's market, one thing it is much easier to get in than it was in 1987. Number one, when we started, there was no bigger pockets, there was no internet, there was not a lot of books to read. I mean, we read No Money Down, we read Fortune magazine, and then we were risk takers. So I'm going to say to you, number one, everybody needs a place to stay. Am I correct? Everybody
Absolutely.
needs a home or a house.
That's
We
right.
have so much homelessness that's going out there. How many of you have even experienced homelessness? Or maybe perhaps family members have experienced homelessness. You want to be able to be the go-to person so that you can help those. So you're not doing that just for the sake of making money. You're doing that to change your community, change lives, to influence it, to impact your family members. You got to remember, what did our family members, many of us are baby boomers and many of us are not, but what did our folks in the civil rights era, what did they fight for? They fought for us to have these opportunities. And let me tell you, the opportunities are absolutely out there for you. And so with a 30-year mortgage now, at one time, you could not even get a 30-year mortgage in an LLC. Now you have that opportunity. You don't have to worry about, you're not limited by 10 properties in your name anymore. You can put the property in an LLC and immediately get a 30-year mortgage. Okay. So a 30-year, what that does for you is that extends the time, that allows you to buy more, as opposed to a lot of my mortgages are what's called commercial mortgages with either 5-year intervals or 10-year intervals based on 20 or 25-year amortization, which means I'm paying more in interest and principal in that case. But with the 30-year mortgage, that allows you to gain easy access. Also, you can find there's a lot of money out there. I'm a hard money and private money lender as well. So you can find help. I've been able to finance some of my students and And so they're able to get there. So don't worry about the interest rate. Remember what I told you, and I'm gonna harp on it, that if you are dedicated, determined, and disciplined, vitamin D, trust me, and you have faith and belief, and that positive belief in yourself, and not only in yourself, but in others, and then do your due diligence. Those vitamin B that I talked about, vitamin D, and you execute and take action, and then invest in yourself, invest in learning, then there won't be a barrier to that, because you'll do your due diligence, you'll do your homework in order to get you started.
Listen, you are the epitome of a woman with wisdom and wealth. That's why we chose you for this. That's why you're our keynote speaker. And all of the gems that you've been dropping, we want to hear more about everything that you've been discussing today on Saturday. So if you have been on the fence, you've got to come out, get some of these vitamins that she's putting down. Listen, you are malnutrition right now because you haven't been around the one and only cash flow diva herself, Janet Tompkins. So, and you just wrote a book with the one and only Jack Canfield, right?
I wrote a book with,
and you're
Jack
bringing some books. Are you bringing some books to the symposium?
I'm certainly bringing some books, and not only am I bringing some to buy, I may have a little few surprises for a few guests.
I know you are. I know. Listen, she's a giver. This woman right here. I don't know too many millionaires that's given out, but this woman right here is giving out. When I tell you this, I'm just excited that you're so humble, Janet. You're a woman of God. You are. I've actually attended your church, heard her teach. This woman is teaching Bible study at her church. So humble. How many millionaires you know out here teaching Bible study at your church? Listen, I'm excited to know you, and I'm excited to hear you speak on Saturday. If you have not registered, you want to come in the building, you want to hear the gems that she's going to be dropping, and you want to catch it, and you want to just glean from her, right? The wisdom of this woman who has done it all these years. There's a lot of people out here, they're making a lot of mistakes. She's going to show you the right way. Of course, you can't do but so much in a short amount of time that we're going to be there, but you will have the opportunity to work with her more if you're looking for some type of real estate investor, mentor. She is definitely the one to glean from. Now, we're not here to pitch you. We're here to teach you. All right. Because like I said, if I know a servant, it's her. I just told you what she does. This woman is about giving back and teaching people. And so you want to show up. She's coming all the way from Baltimore, Baltimore. And she's going to teach you how to do it the right way. All right, Miss Janet, thank you for your time. We're going to see you on Saturday. Go register at IamWealthSymposium.com. That is IamWealthSymposium.com. If you haven't, we actually have a replay now. So if you don't know, we have the replay that we'll be providing to you if you cannot make it. The early bird special began today, and it'll end on Saturday, and then it's going to be full price. So you can come for free, or you can get the replay. But we got it for you. All right. God bless you. We'll see you at the top because you belong there.
God bless you. I'm looking forward